All right. Technical issues. Doing my best. I'm having Megan come in with me. She doesn't know how it goes, so I just started the one. No one's probably in here because everybody was waiting in the first one. Not that there was a lot of people, there's 3 or 4, but I pressed live and it wouldn't let me turn the camera, and she didn't know that it stops. That you have to start a new one if you press stop. So we're trying to load this up on the computer so that I can see who's in here and see the comments. I thought it would be cool to do a live not by myself. Makes my life easier, and I think it would be more interesting. So that I can see who's in here. You have to turn the. Is that on your phone or computer?
It's on my phone.
Is it not coming on the computer?
It's not coming on the computer.
Sorry, guys, bear with me. I don't know if anybody's in here. I can't see anything at the moment. We're trying to load it up. The front-facing camera for like selfies just is not the business. So I want to do it like this. But in order to do it like this, I need a second device so that I can see comments. And you can probably hear Megan. She's got a microphone on her, but you can't see her because she's behind the camera, but she's coming.
I just don't see anybody in here. That's the thing. So let me log out and log back in.
No, this is what happened last time I tried to go live with Daniel.
Oh, okay. Thea's here. Here, just use my phone. They're here.
The phone. Oh, hello.
Thea. Hi, guys.
Hey, Jessie Tillman's here. She's a regular. She's a OG. Oh, why is it reversed?
I don't know.
Oh, weird. Hi, Bryant. Okay, so sorry for the.
Don't mind me. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yeah, but that's okay. She's trying to help me make this not suck, and I appreciate that.
So can anybody see us? We can't see any streamer.
Yeah, no, I can. Okay. I can only see you on here.
I'm gonna close it.
Oh, maybe. Oh, is there like a chat button?
Babe, no.
No.
It's not there.
That's okay. I'm here saying hi, and Thea appreciates us pronouncing the name right. All right, they can see us.
That's the chat, but there's nobody.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna close this.
Okay. Jessie Tillman, it's great to see you. So I was. Some people had asked, was it a live or?
I think it was your last live stream.
Somebody had asked.
People have asked in the comments.
Yeah. And what is it that they asked?
So I think that one of the questions that we get asked, or Jack gets asked a lot, is, or I guess a question that's been directed to me is like, what is it like for me to date somebody who is in recovery? Because I myself am not in the program, and I'm not, I'm not in recovery. So
yeah, you're a civilian.
I'm a normie, yeah. Which I never heard that term until I started dating. But I think that to kind of talk a little bit, like, so on our first date, we spoke about that, our first video together. And one of the things I really admired about Jack and respected was that he just kind of put it all out there right away. Right away, he was telling me about his past addiction struggles, how many times he's been in and out of treatment centers. And it was a lot of information to take in. But one thing that really sticks out to me is that he said, I want to just give you all of the information. I want to give you all of the details about who I am as a person so that you can make an informed decision. And I remember just thinking like, wow, like that's so considerate, and that's like really takes somebody with a lot of integrity, I think, to be able to just tell you who they are. And there was this, I think both of us had a feeling of like we wanted to just lay it all out there. Like we wanted to really just come to the table as like our true authentic selves, and if it worked out, great, and if not, then we would be okay. And like you're a cool person and you're a cool person, but this isn't maybe what I'm looking for, you're looking for, but that obviously didn't happen. I think that I really respected that he just gave me all of the information. And I gave him a lot of different information.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it almost, I kind of almost, I probably did that selfishly. So it's like, well, here's everything, and now
Yeah.
you make the decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you did, because you did say that. And you said, like I remember you used like an analogy or something where you were like, I would rather give you the information now than have us like, be like a few months down the road and like falling for each other, and then just like be like, oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, I think first I was like really taken aback because, as I mentioned, like I'm very fortunate for I'm very fortunate for growing up in a very like loving household with like family around, and I didn't have anybody in my immediate family or really close, inner circle of friends that struggled with addiction in the way that like Jack did. So there was definitely an amount of ignorance, I guess, or
Naivete.
naivete
Well, I mean, you just
surrounding it.
lucked out, I think.
Yeah, I did. But my best friend got a divorce because her husband, or ex-husband at the time, um, was using opiates and pills on the side, and it led to the demise of her marriage. And she's like my best friend, like ride or die. And I remember when I came home and told her that I was like met somebody and like I really liked him. Oh, by the way, he's, an ex heroin addict. I think that, it took her aback a bit. And I think put her back in that place of her life. And I remember she obviously loves you, but
Yeah.
I think she was just concerned because she had been on the other side of that, a relationship like that, where she was being lied to and giving her all to something, and it just wasn't, and it didn't work out. So I think there was a lot of fear for, I think she had fear for me getting into this relationship, because what if he relapses, or what if she didn't want me to go down a path like that.
Yeah. She knows how much it sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, her and I talked a lot about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a lot of questions.
Yeah. And I think I asked a lot of questions too. And I think then the question I remember that sticks out in my mind the most is I asked Jack, because I knew that he was recently divorced. I asked you, how do you know that you'll like never use again? Or like how are you so confident that this time you won't go back to using again, like if we're together in the future? And he said, well, I think if I could get through my divorce and the affair and all of that stuff and not do it, then I think I'm in a pretty good place.
Yeah. Got a lot to. Yeah. I mean, they say a grateful addict typically doesn't relapse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gratitude.
Yeah. Staying in gratitude is tough.
It's
But
tough for everybody though. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's just tough for people in recovery. I mean, it's tough to stay. I have a really hard time staying present. I think we can both agree.
Yeah.
Or,
I
like
mean,
it's hard. I'm in the again, because I'm such a type A planner, overthinker. It's hard for me to stay present because I'm
no, but
always
yeah.
thinking about what's next, or what's the next goal, what's the next milestone, how are we going to get there, what steps can I take to achieve that, and yeah.
Thea was asking where you got your necklace.
Oh my God, sorry guys. This is actually my favorite ones. This is from a jewelry line called Awe Inspired, and it's Joan of Arc. And you can do different patron saints. You can have different. They have different, like a goddess line. So Athena and Aphrodite. And then they have some like darker shadow side ones like Medusa.
Ooh.
Yeah, some cool stuff. But I actually got this a couple years ago when I was coming out of a really tough time in my life, and I was getting out of a unhealthy relationship, and my father just passed away. And Joan of Arc I grew up Catholic, and she was my patron saint, and we also share a same birthday month. And I just love what she stood for, stands for, and so I bought this for myself as like a birthday gift.
I always think of Joan of Arc as the lady that builds the
No,
airplanes.
that's
I know,
Rosie the Riveter.
I know. That's what I think of.
But yeah, we can do. I know. I really
like a strong lady. You know?
I like to consider myself a strong woman, and I've always grown up with really strong women in my life. My mother is an incredibly strong but compassionate woman, and Joan of Arc is somebody that I guess she's like it's an aspiration. It's a reminder to have strength but also grace, like having that grace under pressure.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what that is.
This is funny. Look, I'm like a foot taller than you, but the way that I'm sitting, it makes us kind of look equal.
Yeah.
Optical illusions.
Mm-hmm.
Megan's only 3 feet tall.
I'm not 3 feet tall. I am 5'1".
Tom Steele, hi from Seattle. My son's t-ball game. So if you want me to be honest, t-ball sucks, man. It sucks. It's so.
Jack has a
testing.
hard time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this yesterday. So it was his birth. It was Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was his son's birthday.
No, they know it's Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was his birthday yesterday, so we drove out to the t-ball game. And
if I didn't have a son playing, I would rather.
Well, who wants to go?
I think I would rather be arrested and put in jail than go to a t-ball game.
I don't think normal people go to t-ball games where their child or like a family,
But like I could go. No, but I could go watch like teenagers play a sport.
Well, they're 5 and 6.
I know. So it was great because I love watching my son have a good time, and he did well. It's just very hard. It's not. He just turned 6. It's not competitive yet. It's everyone bats. You can't get out. It's just
I think it's hard because Jack was a very great baseball player, and he's very competitive, and he's very naturally athletic. And so I think seeing kids that just they don't know how to run or they all chase the ball. I don't know. I think it's adorable, but yeah, it's
cute. It's cute. Like, yeah, they all run after the ball, even if it's not at their position, and they tackle each other. So, I mean, it's cute. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it feels like the games are very long. It's only an hour.
Yeah, it was hot.
But it feels like a half day.
Yeah.
But it was great. He had a good time. They let him bat first because it was his birthday. He had a maple bar donut. It was a good time. It's always good to see you in here, Tom. Honey Bee. Hey, Megan and Jack. I don't recognize Honey Bee. That's a new one. Jesse Tillman's yelling at me. She's really sweet.
If Megan was 3 feet, she'd have to ride.
Yeah, no, she's 5'1". She's above 5 feet. I was just teasing her. I tease her a lot.
He does. He likes to actually. We were talking about this.
Remember, you almost didn't go on a date with me because of something like that. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's true. So we met over Hinge, and I reached out to him first, and
I don't believe that.
I did. I have a better memory than you.
That's false.
That's
the.
I 100% reached out to you first.
YouTube's gonna block this video for lies.
So I reached out to Jack first, and then we were like conversing, and he asked me, I guess, I don't know, I said somehow we got on the subject of my height, and I said, yeah, I'm like 5'1". He's like, I don't think I've ever met somebody that short that's an adult. And I was like, oh, okay, asshole. Thanks so much. And I almost literally and this is like a good example of like, everybody has their
Flash points.
Yeah, or they're just like, they're they get defensive. You know what I mean? When you're uncomfortable, or you feel like a boundary is crossed, or you feel like, I don't know, insecure about something. And I think for me, particularly because of the things that I was getting out of, it was like I had these like very hard boundaries. And I just remember thinking, like, I never want somebody to make me feel bad about myself again. And never, and so it was just like,
And in no way was
when
that
he
my
said
intention.
that, it was like flag on the field, red flag on the field. And I just was like, gonna be like, screw this guy. But I took a breath and I was like, okay, why are you upset? Why are you so sensitive? What's really going on here? Let him, he's just joking. Stop being a baby and give him an actual chance. And then I upped the ante and was like, okay, instead of us meeting halfway, if you want to go on a date with me, why don't you play hooky from work and come meet me at the beach? And he did.
Sucker. I did it.
So he did.
She didn't think I was gonna.
I didn't think he was going to.
Melton Sawyer. This is adorable. Thanks. It's mostly her. That's why I wanted to get her in here. Wait till I see how fast they learn. Yeah, the baseball thing. You know what's crazy about the speed? I got a picture sent to me because Jack, my son, had a birthday party at his mom's house because it was his weekend with her, and so she sent me some pictures, and one of them was him with like a couple of his buddies from the baseball team, and it seems like I have him for a week and I don't have him for a week, and every time I get him back after a week, he looks like he's aged 6 months, and it's just so wild.
It was the first thing I said. I was like, oh my God, like he just looks so much older, and we just had him. I think it's incredible. I don't know, he's losing that baby like face, and he just looks like a little boy, and like he has this like, he's all of a sudden into Spider-Man, which like it's been nothing but SpongeBob and Sonic forever, and now all of a sudden he's like, I'm having a Spider-Man birthday party, and we're like, what?
Yeah, and he's gonna be Spider-Man.
And he's gonna be Spider-Man for Halloween, and we don't know if he's ever actually seen Spider-Man.
No, he hasn't, because Josh was telling me, he's like, I keep trying to get him to watch it.
But his little friend at school loves Spider-Man, and so it's just like crazy, like how kids like.
He wants to get into Spider-Man because he says his best friend at school likes Spider-Man, and so he thinks that means he has to. And I was like, all right, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong. I don't want him to think that if he wants to be friends with someone, he has to like what they like. Yeah. But I think at this age,
I do think it's interesting how like influential, obviously kids are.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's not bad. Like, yeah, so many little boys like Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, that.
Cool. But like, I understand what you're saying.
I just
like,
don't
you
want
don't want him to feel like he has to like something just because,
or even just try something because somebody else says that it's, you know what I mean? What's up, Frankie?
Frankie wants to get in on the conversation.
Bryant Sanders says we look like a good team, and it seems like we heal each other. What do you think about that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm a healing kind of
guy. I have to say that Jack 100% like single-handedly restored my faith in men. and
most
I'm gonna get like a little, like, I'm gonna get real for like a second, but like,
oh shit.
But so before we met, and you just mentioned this, but like my father had just passed away, and it was a really long battle with brain cancer, and it was really hard. And then I was also simultaneously, the demise of my 4.5-year relationship was happening. And so I remember my dad passed away on December 18th, and then the new year came, and my birthday is the beginning of January. So it's nice because it feels like a very rejuvenative, like healing time of year I love that my birthday falls in the new year. But I remember doing a lot of like healing practices. Like I did a Reiki ceremony. I was meditating every morning. And I remember doing like a meditation, and it was like specifically to like set intentions for the new year. And I remember just like praying, really. I was like praying to God. Like I was in tears, and I was just like, I've worked so hard on myself. I've been in therapy for, almost a year now. And like, I was there for my dad. I did all the things. Like, I feel like I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to meet somebody. I'm ready to love and that was, I think, the biggest change was like, I finally like loved myself and forgave myself for all of my own shit. And when I had this prayer, I was just like, I'm ready to meet somebody. And like, I don't know what he looks like or what he does for a living or what his family's like, or I don't know any of the particulars. I know the way that I want to feel, and I want to feel like cherished. Like, I want to feel like safe and secure and just like have that trust in my partner and in that relationship. And it was wild because literally like 2 weeks later.
I feel like that's everyone's hope, right?
Yeah,
Well,
but
maybe not, but
I mean, yeah, maybe it is, but I don't know. I think that,
well, no, I think some people would rather have like, I just really want to marry someone that's rich so that I don't have to worry about
yeah,
finances.
or like or you focus on the wrong things until like the simple things are, I don't know. I
Until you're
listen
missing the simple
until you're
things.
missing
Yeah.
the simple things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Like,
don't seem that important.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like,
Like being treated with dignity.
yeah, respect, like honesty. Like, that is the most, like, yes, when I repeat it back, like, oh my God, you want to have a partner who's like honest with you. Like, that's so simple. But I also think when you don't have that for so long, you almost sometimes like forget that it exists, or you
Yeah.
question it. Like,
And we're talking real honesty.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I told, like, when I was younger, there was a point in my life when I was younger, in my teens and my early 20s, where I thought every man cheated. I really did. I really believed it. Like, I believed that every man cheats. And I would say, like, if you asked me at, 18 or 21, like, I would say, yeah, every single guy cheats. And I didn't know that until later in life, that, oh no, wait, like, there are men out there who like don't cheat, and women
Yeah, I
cheat
think
too.
that's a human thing. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's a guy thing, but
it's a
I
human
understand.
thing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But
I
yeah,
would agree. I've been hanging out with men my whole life. I agree. A lot of them, but I think it's just a human thing. You know,
yeah. What were like the qualities what were you looking for?
just a really nice butt. That's it.
No, okay.
What was I looking for?
I don't even know if did you know?
That you had a butt.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Did you know what you were looking for
I mean,
or what you wanted?
kind of similar to what you're saying. Yeah, I just wanted what mattered to me most was because at the time the last relationship I had been in was
Yeah.
the end of my marriage, where I wasn't like, I wasn't given any, I wasn't treated with dignity. It was
Yeah.
like if I spoke, I was an annoyance. You know what I mean? If I went into a room, they left the room. Um,
Yeah.
if I wanted to have a conversation, I was just being bothersome. Um, so I just wanted to be like respected as a man, or just as a person. I just wanted to be respected
Yeah.
and like, I understand that I don't, which I don't think anyone does, but I don't think I don't bring everything to the table, but I wanted to be appreciated for the things that I do bring to the table,
Yeah.
That was all. I mean, I don't think it was, I wasn't, I was also open to the fact that maybe I'll be a single dad the rest of my life. So it was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't really willing to settle like I had in the past. Um, I think I just got really lucky. I think you must have been like drinking the night before I messaged you or something. You know what I mean?
I actually was, because I was actually at my, but not like that. I was at a birthday party.
Yeah. Hey,
The story
whatever.
is that I lived in Venice Beach and Jack was living in Riverside. And when we realized how far away we lived, we were planning to have our first date in Claremont. Do you remember?
Yeah, which is halfway.
Which is
Yeah, for like
halfway.
coffee.
And we were going to meet for coffee. And it was a heat wave that week. And it was literally going to be like 105 degrees or something. And I was at my really good friend's birthday dinner. And I'm like, I don't want to and this is me being selfish, I don't want to drive like all the way out there, and we can't even like go for a walk around the block because it's so hot.
And what if I'm a creep?
Yeah, and then I'm like, and what if it sucks? And then I'm out in Claremont and it's a Friday in LA traffic, and so yeah, maybe I did have a little bit of liquid courage, but I was like, I texted him and I was like, hey, I have an idea. Instead of us meeting in Claremont for coffee, why don't you play hooky from work and drive out to the beach? And then that way, if it didn't work out, at least I didn't.
You could just retreat back to home base and be like,
down the street.
yeah.
But it ended up being the best first date. We did like everything.
Sure.
We went to the beach, we went to lunch, we walked all over the place.
Through the catacombs? What are they called?
The canals.
Yeah, the canals.
The canals.
Catacombs.
Right. We watched the sunset. We got street tacos.
Ice cream.
We
did all the things.
And then at the end of the night, he like gave me a foot massage.
Yep.
Which was nice.
Yep. No sex.
No sex.
In case anyone's wondering, didn't happen.
No.
Not for lack of trying. That didn't happen. No, it was, I don't think it could have been a better first date.
I just remember it was this feeling that like we just didn't want it to end. Like after we like had coffee and then we went to the beach and then we went to lunch and we walked back to my house and it was like, I don't know, it was crazy because I just had felt like, and maybe that because we both came to the table with such honesty that it just like, it felt like I knew him already. And like
it was like when you're in a book, when you're reading a book and you're like, don't want to put it down because it's like, I just want to know more. I want, and I wanted it to keep going because I don't know, because part of my brain is also like, what if this doesn't happen again? So like, you know what I mean? So stretch it out.
Yeah.
Not to the point where, overstaying my welcome, but it was great.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some questions. No, we got Brian M. He's late, but that's okay. He just got in for a meeting. Solo Sinner's here.
Solo Sinner. Hi.
That's my man. That's Jules. Oh, I'm giving up his.
What are your thoughts on finding purpose in life in general or your own personal journey? This whole project speaks to Jack pursuing his purpose. Does this complement? Yes, I think that's a really amazing question. And I was just talking about this. Were we talking about this? I'm
sorry. I'm so distracted. Every time I see POV, it's just like I just think of porn.
Why?
Because it's like, I don't know, but I'm just trying to refocus. Yeah, it's just a type of point of view. It's like, I'm sorry. I got distracted. No, I just.
You had a really good question.
It's an excellent question, and I'm going to get to
purpose.
And I didn't want to ruin it.
Okay.
Thinking about naked people.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So.
Purpose.
Do you think that my purpose complements your point of view on purpose?
I think purpose is really important. And I think that purpose changes. And I think that for me, I don't know why, but it's always been very important for me to have purpose in life. And that has changed as I've gotten older. Like when I was younger, I was an actor. I was in theater. I was like was in this creative world. So purpose was all about being creative and having this outlet and being inspired. And it was amazing. But then things change as you get older. And I have also always loved hospitality. And COVID changed a lot of things for a lot of people. And I lived in New York for 15 years, and I had moved back to California. And right now, like what I do, like I love what I do. It's a very demanding job, but it's so rewarding for me, and I feel like I'm making a difference. And because of that, I love what I do, and I think it's really interesting because I fought against what I'm doing right now is like what I did when I was an actor all those years. It was like I was, I started off as like a hostess, then I was a server. I was a bartender for like 15 years. When Jack and I met, I was a bar director. So again, it was like I needed to know where he stood with being around alcohol. Not that I'm like, a heavy drinker by any means, but like it is, in my life. And I was getting my SOM certification, sommelier certification. And so long story short, my purpose changed. And what I'm doing now is something that I think that for the longest time I fought against it, because I was like, I'm not, I'm an actor and I'm not really a bartender. I think I had like, I judged it, you know what I mean? And then finally, again, it was when I moved back to California, COVID was happening, my dad was sick, and I felt really lost. I was not in a good place mentally, in my relationship, in my family. I was just, and I remember, again, it's amazing how the universe or God or whatever you want to call it works, because I just felt so lost. And I remember just saying, just show me the right path. And like a week, like I was like, should I go this way or should I go this way? And literally a week later, all of the like, opportunities just opened up in this one direction, and it just all kind of felt right. And it's like sometimes when it's like meant to be, sometimes it's a path of least resistance, if that makes sense. Because when it's right, it's just like the universe is like, yes, keep going. And I did take a job, like when we were together, I took a job and I was at another company for like a year and a half, and I really was very unhappy, but I took it for growth and it was a good opportunity. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. I think I can look at things in a very like, okay, I learned a lot. It got me to where I am now. So I have gratitude for it. But again, with this opportunity, it's like, it's not easy. I work nights. I work weekends. I work long hours. We did an event the other day. I get like 20,000 to 25,000 steps. It's insane. And it's a lot of energies at me. But again, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I want him to feel that, I guess, to answer your question. So one thing, when Jack and I first started dating, I remember asking him, I was like, what do you want to do with, I think he's always had jobs, but for me, it's like I've had like a career in mind, if that makes sense. Like I need to have passion and purpose with whatever I'm doing. And again, he very different circumstances. He was recently divorced. He has a young son. I don't. I have my my dog child, but
It's a
like
dog. It's a dog.
but very different. So like I remember asking like, well, what did you want to like, if you could do anything, what would you want to do? Or like, what did you want to be when you were a little kid? Those kinds of questions. And he's always said like he wants to like help people, and knowing him, it's like I see it so clearly, like how amazing of a human being he is. And like I would like to think I'm encouraging with him, because I do believe this can be a career for him. I do believe this has purpose for him, and he has this ability where he can just connect with people. Every person I introduce him to, all of my friends are obsessed with him. My family is obsessed with him. Like everybody who meets him is just like, that fucking dude is like the shit.
I didn't pay her to say any of this.
No,
this is real.
but
I'm a great actor.
no.
I come off very well.
He's the opposite. He is who he is, and he owns who he is, and he's such a giver. And I think that I just want him to do something that he loves and be able to, but it takes a lot of time and effort, and
I got to pay the bills in the meantime.
And there are the realities of being an adult. It's not fun. Like even his son Jackson will say, are you going to work again? Like, why do you work so much? I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Like, I wish I didn't have to work on Saturdays, but this is what I have to do right now, and again, I always have gratitude because I'm doing something that I love.
You can check out some of the comments. They're kind of talking to you.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and I think that the way Megan's brain works, as far as having the ability to like laser focus on a goal and see a path. I might come up with goals brainstorming. Like I know deep down what I want to happen, but I don't know how to plan a path to it. And I think that when I ask for her help, it works well, you know. But as a dumb man, I'm usually like, I got it.
No,
It's like,
but also
no, you
like,
don't, dude.
and listen, like, you know, it's honestly like the last video we did, it was
Big Sur.
so sweet to like, I don't actually know you guys, but it felt like it was so nice to be introduced to you and to be sitting here and to like meet you virtually. Um, but like we struggle, you know what I mean? Like, yes, we have so much love for each other and we have such great communication, but like we have things that we work on, you know what I mean? Because again, I think we are so different. Like, well, like I said, we have all of the same values and we have the same goals. But the way that we walk through life, the way that we operate on a daily basis is very different. And I am much more like I've said, structured, routine. If I have a goal, it's like I'm gonna map it out.
Yeah, you like reverse engineer
I
it.
find a way to attack a problem. You know what I mean? Like I pride myself on being a problem solver. And sometimes that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's a lot for people. Like, but then on the flip side of that, I struggle with letting go and surrendering. And and there's certain things in life that like you cannot control. And it's like learning how
That's where I come in.
to let go and be present and have gratitude. And Jack is all of, you know, again, it's like he's the yin to my yang, but yes, he will have an idea, um, but he'll like to ruminate on that idea for quite some time because and he like even today I was like, I'll go on your live, but you gotta pick a name for your channel.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. I'm working
I
on
know.
it. One of the things that you said was talking about that we have great communication,
Mhm.
and but we struggle. And
Yeah.
I think it might be a misconception. I've heard people talk about. I think communication is the most important thing because,
Yeah.
well, you know, honesty, which is you know groups into communication because if you're not having honest communication,
Yeah.
what good is it actually communication if it's not honest? But I think to think that like good communication means no problems would be like that would be like saying if you have a lot of money you won't have bills. Like no, the bills are still there, you just have more money so that they're not so stressful. Like we have great communication, so the problems are still there, they're just not as they don't blow up or like fester or turn into something that it doesn't need to be because typically we'll address it. Typically
Yeah.
it's I'm doing something wrong. I got fix
I
it.
always sent you this. What's that comedian you like? The angry guy from Boston?
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
He's great.
He like had this bit where he's like, we're in couples therapy, and I just realized my wife is perfect. And I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I almost sent it to you, but I didn't because I thought that was
He's right. I mean,
no, I have a lot. Like I said, I've been in therapy for 3 years. I have things that I work on. And but I'm very lucky and grateful because Jack is a very grounding force in my life. And
she took me to her high school reunion.
I did. You don't have to tell everybody that I'm like, how old I am.
What do you mean? You
That
did.
was a year ago. Yes, I had my 20-year
That could have been
reunion
your
a year.
5-year reunion. I don't know. No, that would make me a pervert. For take that. It was a high
No,
school reunion.
yes.
It was great. But I got to meet all your friends. I thought about that when you were earlier when you were like, Jack's so great. It made me
He
think
is.
of made me think of
Everybody, like anywhere
people would be like, "What year did you graduate?" I'm like, "I didn't come here.
and
I'm
one
from
of my
Massachusetts."
best friends, so one of my best guy friends that was at the reunion after was like, so like, has Jack like met everybody before? And I was like, no, it's his first time. He was just like, Kevin was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, like he was just blown away because he's naturally just charismatic and like kind and genuine. And because of all of those qualities, like people want to just, and he's very witty. He's very witty and he's very funny. So
If you guys would meet me in real life, I'm gonna do something where I can meet you guys. It'd be worth it. Once in a while, I'm pretty cool, and maybe the time that I have an event will be one of my cool days, and you guys would get a glimpse. But I think it would be great. I'm much better in real life than on paper.
Ink Rio says Jack just needs an opportunity to get a job that helps people in recovery or whatever he wants to do. He needs some network connections. Yes.
Working on it. Working on it, man. Brian M. What is Brian M saying? You know, Brian M. Donated on PayPal. That's how I was able to get Jack the presents.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
And cool to work in hospitality. Well. It's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, Brian's in hospitality.
And also, like, the thing that I tell my staff and my team all the time is, I know we're not like performing open heart surgery or like curing cancer or like saving the world, but like hospitality for me is really about making an experience for somebody. And in the industry, the particular like industry that I'm in, like people wait a very long time to come to this restaurant and they spend a lot of money. And it's like, if we can create a core memory for them, like that's a win. Like if like at the end of the day, it's about taking care of people. And I think that's who I am deep. Like, I think I'm a caretaker.
You gotta be to be with me.
But like in my family, like,
oh yeah.
And again, like I'm the strong one, but I think I've always been the one that people go to for help and for like, you know.
Yeah.
I just think I think I just take that on. Like and for better or worse. And sometimes I think that it gets, it can be exhausting, because I think there's definitely been times where it feels like I'm taking on the weight of the world, but
no, you do well.
But I like to take care of people. I like to take care of my family.
It's a good feeling.
And yeah, it is.
I wish I could do more for more people,
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love, yeah.
But I think that, he spoke at a meeting. And were we allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You say, this is my channel.
I don't know the rules.
So the rule, you can't talk. Yeah. So I can't talk. I shouldn't talk about who I see at meetings, because their friends or family may not know that they're in that program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you, yeah.
So going back to a little bit, like when we first started dating and like kind of getting into a relationship with somebody who's in recovery for, and it was a heroin addict, like it is a little daunting, I guess, like when you get stuck in the idea of it. And so I just that was like the one time I think in my life where I was like really able to like push all of the chatter away and just be like, that's fear-based thinking. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, on a first date. Yeah, because on my first date, I'm telling you, about stealing from my mom and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like overdosing and
so yeah, if you let your mind go like, okay, well, so if he relapses,
what if
he takes my bank card and clears up my bank? Yeah, of course. Or it's horrible to think about.
Like, if I allow, what if we're married for 20 years and he gets in an accident and somebody gives him a, you know what I mean? Yeah. But again, that's the one area that I was able to just be like, well, why am I going to worry about something like that? Right now, he treats me better than anybody's ever treated me. I'm crazy about him. And also it's just like, we just have fun together. Like we have so much fun together.
Yeah.
But
that's the whole point.
It was in the beginning. Like I definitely had questions and like I had insecurities for sure. Like he played a lot of softball and like meeting his friends and like recovery and stuff. Like their stories are what. And like I said, I've never considered myself this like
sheltered
girl. Like I did things when I was growing up, but like
you've told me stories. You've done things I haven't.
It just felt like, oh God, I just it's just a different experience. And it also, again, though, just his friends are such amazing people, and like there's so many of them that have, overcome crazy, like just have trauma that like, and so sometimes it's like I don't even want to like, sometimes I feel like I can't even like speak up because I'm like, what do I have to like,
But everybody's got stuff.
it's all relative. I know.
But I feel when I met Joey's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He saw his grandfather kill himself.
Ugh.
And so he's telling me this.
Oh,
and then it's like, what the hell do I have to complain about?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, so some stuff, some sexual stuff happened, but like that, and like one of my other best friends, Ian, he like, our buddy Michael threw him a surprise birthday party, I think when he turned like 26 or something. And when he got there, he came in the door and he's crying. And he was like, I've never had somebody throw me a birthday party before.
That's so nice.
Like his whole life. Yeah. I can't comprehend that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like living in a
Nobody like making you a cake or getting balloons or.
No, and having to like change your little brother and sister's diaper because your parents are like not around. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had it so easy. But
you did not, but
comparative. No, I had so love easy. At home.
Yeah, you did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Daniel doing 10 years in prison. Like the first time
Daniel gave me a very hard time when we first started dating.
Yeah.
Daniel made Jack put me on FaceTime and he was like, what are your intentions with my friend? And I was like, well, so Daniel, I'm actually so glad you asked me that because I'm all about intention.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for my partner. I'm looking for my person. I want to make sure that he's in the same space. And he was.
I'm trying to catch up on this.
Ink Rio, are Jack's eyes even nicer in person? Yes, they are. Ooh. They are very nice.
Can you see my eyes in this?
No, but in your other videos, I don't know. They are so blue.
They're bluish.
They're ocean eyes. I'm a sucker for the eyes.
Yeah, she's a sucker. Brian, Solar Center. Jack, what's something Megan's done recently that surprised you? Am I allowed to say?
No, wait. I don't know. What are you thinking? It can't be. It has to be PG.
No. It would be PG. When I had to take a taxi home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
that's so last time I was surprised by Megan, we were communicating and it wasn't working, but we were trying to communicate, and I was asked to leave, which was fair. And so I did, and I took a taxi home from here at 12:30 at night to Riverside. It was over $200. That was the last time I was surprised. But in context, her best friend was out here. They had gone out at like 11 in the afternoon and were having margaritas all day. And so we decided to venture down the road of a conversation that should happen sober. Like,
Yeah. I mean, again.
And the conversation was fair. It was about her financial insecurity because I'm not pulling my weight, which is fair. So I was like, yeah, we can talk about it. And it just didn't go well.
Yeah.
We tried.
It's definitely not my proudest moment. And usually I say that we don't have these types of moments. But yes, it was something I think that the financial part of it, I think, if we're being honest, it's something that's been building for some time. And I really underestimated how much it would affect me, the paying for our life,
covering everything,
paying for rent and utilities and groceries. And
for 3 months I paid for nothing.
And I'm, again, I love him and I know he's trying and I believe in this channel. And, but it was really hard. And on top of that, my job, I think like I said, it was like that feeling of like, I'm working so hard and I'm just stressed. And
Sisyphus. Is that the guy's name?
who's Sisyphus?
The
Greek?
the guy who rolls the ball up the hill but can never get to the top.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
So it was a really hard, I think it was coming. And yes, my best friend was in town and I was confiding in her and then decided that this would be the perfect moment for me to talk to Jack. And it obviously wasn't. And
I'm so smart
and
thinking
I,
of Sisyphus.
and
I'm just saying, I'm just so clever
yeah.
and educated.
Yeah.
You know?
You are.
It's wild. You're so lucky.
But yeah, it was.
I could be wrong. Sisyphus might not be the guy pushing.
I don't know.
I think it is.
I know.
Someone in here will say. But
I know some of them. Wait, narcissist? Because he fell in love with his reflection? Yeah, that's narcissist.
Oh, that was a person?
Narcissist is like, yeah, a Greek mythology that he fell in love with his own reflection, looking at his reflection in like the
lake water or something?
Pool of water.
Yeah, I heard of that. Sorry, getting sidetracked.
Going back to okay, so
but yeah, that was the last time I on a lighter note. Last time she surprised me. I don't know. I mean, it's not that easy to surprise me.
Your birthday.
Oh, I thought he meant like surprised me with. Yeah, I didn't know we were.
Oh wait, like a surprise?
No, like something about you that surprised
me.
Me. Like I don't know.
Jack just now surprised me with the Sisyphus.
I'm a genius, basically. That's what you're saying. When's the last time I surprised you? I don't think he means like surprise, because she tries to scare me all the time, which is rude.
I do.
And I'm not a fan. People. And she tickles my feet. And it's not okay.
Okay. Now do you want to go down this road where you're just gonna
It's documented. She accosts my feet. And I'm ticklish.
The question was coming from understanding how you're still learning about each other while practicing radical honesty. I think that, like I said, that argument that night was not something. What about for your birthday? Duh. Hello, your birthday. Jack's a Boston genius. Yeah.
It means I'm average intelligence.
But going back to like, okay, so I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but in those moments, like when we have conflict, 99% of the time, I'd say we can talk our way through. We can get to the through side through like
within a day,
logical conversation.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there are times where it just feels like we're not coming to a resolution. And in those moments, there's been times where it's like, I'll say something like, we need to take a break because I'm starting to feel my defenses kick in. And I have a physical reaction when that happens. Like I feel my throat starting to close up. I feel like hot in the face.
Punches.
I maybe want to, but everything in me is
like,
so that's not going to solve anything, and do not resort to violence. No, but in all seriousness, like when we can't find our way through in the moment, in the beginning and even the other night when that happened, I think that something that I'm trying to continue to work on is like a fear of abandonment, right? I think it's very common for so many of us. And that idea, if like, what if he leaves, like really leaves? What if I'm not good enough?
Which is crazy. But I feel the same way all the time.
But like I sometimes I feel that way. Like after that, night, it was like, I know better. And like we talked about it and we're fine. But like I still have those fears sometimes that like, what like I don't know, like and the surprise, I guess, or maybe it's not a surprise, but it's like knowing that he's not going anywhere, and like him knowing that like I'm not going anywhere, like we are together and we are committed, and it's a choice, right? Commitment is a choice. It's like we could choose to throw in the towel at any moment, but like I think that we both have this like long term, like we are both in this to be with each other for
Yeah. Well, it's a
forever.
continuous choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally know that I couldn't possibly find anybody better.
You're
So
so
it's like,
sweet, but
I'm just saying. So I'm just, I'm along for whatever the ride looks like.
I also think that we're hardest on ourselves. I think that's a really common thing with a lot of humans is like, I know Jack is really hard on him, can be really hard on himself.
Someone's got to do it.
And I'm really hard. I'm really critical about myself. Like I have very
High standard.
high standards, but I hold myself to high standards. And yes, I do hold other people to those standards. But if I fall short somewhere, or if I make a mistake, or I do something that, I will beat myself up about it. And it's learning how to.
You're hitting, you're pulling on heartstrings.
Oh, I am.
That's what it sounds. Yes. Yep.
That's
Jules.
where narcissism comes from. Yeah. Big facts. Just me, or does Megan's response make everyone everywhere is filled with these two?
Yeah, Thea, Jack is lucky for real, for real. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying it the whole time.
And like we're
I'll
both
continue saying it.
And like I think also like
I'm not the worst.
he's the best.
But
you're the best. What are you talking about?
Just had a low bar. So
I don't have. I
no,
didn't.
In the beginning, on the first date.
I didn't have a low bar.
You must have, because here we are.
I didn't.
Well, I don't know.
I didn't.
But yeah, I'm very lucky, and I know it, and I do the best that I can to not take that for granted, and I try to tell you that I love you and that you're beautiful and slap your butt all the time because it's like a thing. But yeah, I let Megan know that she's great and that I'm very lucky as often as I can. I probably could do it more. I just, I could do everything. I could do everything more,
Yeah.
But I'm well aware that that it's a privilege. It's not.
And it's incredible because the other night at work I had actually was that last night or 2 nights ago, Friday. I had a couple came in and they were celebrating their 36-year anniversary. And I just love when I meet people who have been in long marriages like that because it is so inspiring. And as we're obviously both divorced, and it's like sometimes people are like, oh, you want to get married again? Like, or, like you still have faith in marriage after your divorces and obviously I'm not saying like people should stay in marriages when they're unhealthy or unhappy, but like it's amazing to see couples who can make that long-term commitment because I think that's so rare. And this couple was just very honest. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's not easy, but here we are." And like and they still they love each other. And I asked them, I was like, I said I'm not gonna ask you like what's your secret because I'm sure everybody does, but like, are there any like lessons that I should know? And she said, just always respect them and respect that they have their, that they're their own person. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we do a good job at that. I mean, we're very different.
Yeah.
Quite short. See, I tease her a lot.
Okay.
Okay,
so this is what he does. He'll
and then I
tease me. And then I'm like, I'll say, that's not nice. And he's like, what do you mean?
So here's what happens. I'm going to give him an example.
Me.
So she'll say something,
and I know
I'll repeat what she says, but in like a silly voice, and she'll be like, "Hey, don't make fun of me," and I'll respond with, "I wasn't. I was singing a song," and I'm lying.
Yes,
but it's hilarious, and I think it's I think it brings us closer together.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's good for you, and it's good for us. It's a good.
It's okay. He teases me and I scare him, so it all balances out.
Oh, that's why you do it.
Wait until I do. I love scaring people.
Yeah, it's awful. It's a terrible quality.
It gives me like joy.
Yeah, I don't like it.
To like make him jump.
What do you think? What do you think the best part of? What do you think the best part of being in a relationship with someone who's in recovery is? Worst part would probably be the fear of relapse.
Um,
I would imagine.
well, I think, and I don't know if it's, again, you're the only person I've ever dated that's in recovery. So I don't know if it's a recovery thing or if it's a you thing, but just,
Who I am was molded by
yeah.
the program. So anything that you like about me, I learned from.
I mean, I think the
you know,
willingness to talk about things, the willingness to communicate even when it's hard, the willingness to be honest even when it's hard, like, and it makes me feel like I can do the same. And it's like, and and like it goes back to our first day, like he put it all out there, like, fuck it, I'm gonna put it all out there too, and we're gonna see how this goes. And if he has a negative response to it, then like that's okay, because I love myself and I will be okay.
I feel like that's a big thing, a decision that I made that I've stuck to that I think is very important.
Is
Is
loving yourself.
Well, I mean, I'm still a work in progress on that. No, anytime we're talking about something, whether it's good or bad, difficult to hear, easy to hear, makes
Yeah.
me feel good, makes me feel insecure. I never, or at least I don't believe that I ever, like punish your honesty.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you never do. And that
I
is
don't always
honestly,
like it.
it's so nice though, because I have had that happen to me, and it you live in fear then, because you just don't say anything. And I think for so long I just kept everything pushed down. Like I would not speak my truth because I was scared, and or because I was scared. I knew that I wasn't going to get the answer I wanted, or it was going to cause a bigger problem, or I was going to be punished, and that was terrible.
Not by me.
Not by him.
No, but I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to do it with, not that it's the same thing, but I try to do it with Jack. Like, yeah, like if he does something wrong and I know he did something wrong, it's like, what happened? Tell me.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want you to be mad. It's like, no, I promise. Like, just tell me, man. Like, and so, when sometimes if Megan has something to talk about, and I don't like what comes out of her mouth, but I know that it's her truth, I don't devalue what she says. I don't like contend against it. I just take it in and try to see things from her perspective if I can. Typically I can. But it's, I'm trying to think of an example. Like even something small, like, so one of the things I think is very important that we do, or that we have done and could always continue to do, I guess, is like being open to talk about intimacy stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was crucial because, and like sometimes you'd be like, I don't like that. And I don't, and
Yeah.
for me, in my past and just in my life, as far as like even past intimacy, but I'm just speaking on that. If I didn't like something, but somebody was doing it, I assumed that they liked it, so I'd just go with it.
Well, that's like, and I don't know how many women are in this, but like that's really big for me, and that's new to this relationship, is that I never spoke up for myself when I didn't like things, or things, I just I don't know. I think, and again, I shouldn't speak for all women, but I have had friends with I've had conversations with my girlfriends, like sex for women. I don't know. When I was growing up, it just always seemed like it was for the man. Like it seemed like it was more about your job is to make them happy and make, your job is to like do all the things to make them happy and make it a good experience and make it memorable for them. But like your own pleasure and, orgasms and needs were second fiddle. And if you had an orgasm, great. But if you didn't, it's like, you don't talk about it. It's not the end of the world, or you don't like, I don't know. I didn't have that. I definitely did not have communication with my previous partners in terms of like what works, what doesn't work, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Like it was just, we did not.
To be
talk
fair,
about
I
those
didn't
things.
either. That's new.
So
That's just a decision I made to do because I want this to work.
yeah.
Yeah, and I want to know. I'd rather, because like, if I'm doing something that you don't like and you're pretending to like it, it's going to register to me like, okay, do that more often. So I'd rather you be honest. You know what I mean? So that I'm not doing these things I think you like, but you're sitting there like, when's this dude gonna quit it?
But again, it's like Jack and I started dating and I was already 37. 30? Sure, we'll say 30. But that's what I'm saying is like I was 37 when we started dating. He was the first partner that I felt comfortable saying like, can you not do that, or
I don't like that.
I don't like that, or can we try it this way? And like,
but I made that okay.
But he made it okay.
I'd say, is this okay?
Yes, and he would always in the beginning, especially, and now we've been together for 2.5 years, but in the beginning he would always check in with me, and not just to check in with like the physical things, but like he would look at me like into my and just be like, "Are you here?" Like.
I'd take the pillow off her face and say, "You still breathing?" And then she'd say, "Yeah." But I'd make sure she was okay.
No,
I'm just joking.
I think.
Hope that's not inappropriate.
I think that's really nice. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to speak for every woman. I know I have friends who are like, "What do you mean you never like told your boyfriend you didn't like that?" Or "What do you mean you never tried?" But what do you mean? But then I also have friends who are like, "Oh yeah, like we would buy the like Jenna Jameson book to like get all the tips to be the sexiest, or you'd read Cosmo, or you would like watch, whatever show, what was the one, the Playboy Mansion show, and you're just like,
you just say Sex and the City.
But like, I also am very grateful because I didn't grow up in a family where like your looks were what was like rewarded. Like my family very much rewarded like academics, and so I think that I'm grateful that I had that because I never had to like, just
sidebar. Hi, Melanie.
Rely on Melanie my looks or something.
She's an OG. She supports big time.
Do you guys have any questions for us? Anything?
I was just trying to catch up. Jesse, I appreciate you thinking I'm amazing. I got you fooled. Got everybody fooled. I'm such a dirtbag, but I just,
What habits does other have that endear you and annoy you?
Brian M. Relationship would be kind of boring if we agreed on everything. Yeah, she doesn't agree with much of anything that I say.
Okay, so habits that endear him and annoy me.
Oh, geez. They're asking you?
I think they're asking both. I'll start.
Of course you will.
Okay, so Jack is so cute. I love that he always like in the morning he'll like do this little like shimmy and he's like, "What's up, baby?" And like he'll make me coffee every morning, especially when I'm sleeping in. Like I woke up to coffee. He's like a really big snuggle bug, and so am I. So all of those he always opens the car door for me.
True.
Which
true statement.
And again, I've never had that. Like it took me a bit to be okay with that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
At first you'd be like, "I can open the door, pal." It's like, I know you can. Like,
but now it's just like
it's
just so nice that he like opens the door for me. So those are endearing. Annoying.
Just name one or two. You don't have to go crazy.
I mean, some of them you can't control.
Teasing you?
No.
Procrastination?
No. Snoring.
My looks?
Snoring.
Snoring, yeah.
He's a snores?
I snore. Lately, I've been
Oh, you know
talking.
what drives? Okay, I got one.
Oh, jeez.
It drives me insane. He has the volume on his phone all the time. Like it's not on vibrate, it will ping. So anytime he gets like a text message or one of his apps, it's like ping, bing, ding, ing.
I know this.
And when he's typing, it's like, and like it drives me insane. But I try not to say anything. But sometimes I'll sneak over and switch.
That's a nice thing too. Like being able to hand her my phone, knowing that like there's nothing in there that would cause damage to our relationship is like a nice thing, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention something.
Okay, what do I do that annoys you?
Anytime that you're messing with my nipples or my ears for no reason. Be sitting here minding my own business and I'll get a lick on my nipple and I'm like, get out of here. What are you doing? Now it's cold. Or my ears. Those like, you know, I'm like, you know.
Okay.
That's what comes to mind. But that's not what I was something came to my mind, but I lost it. Maybe it was from a comment. What habits she has that endears? I think it's part of her what she was talking about earlier, how she likes to like the whole hospitality thing. She's very she's like I don't know how to explain it outside of like an Italian mother, making sure that like you're fed and that, you know, that you got that like you're sustained and that you're comfortable and that's nice, you know, bringing food home from work sometimes. I make breakfast. I'm a breakfast guy.
He made really good breakfast this morning.
Do the best I can with what I got. But she doesn't annoy me too much. I don't like it when she kicks me out.
One time.
Maybe that's what I was going to say. When we were talking about the times where we are trying to figure a problem out, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't work out, but it takes longer than one talk session, let's say. I think it's 4 times. It's either 3 or 4 times in 2.5 years where one sitting conversation didn't completely resolve whatever we needed.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, maybe.
In 2.5 years. They got resolved, just not in one sitting, you know. So there have been a couple times where we had to take a break and reconnect and think about some things. And one of them specifically I remember was kind of my fault because I just kept. I remember you saying like we're just going in circles, man.
When I was crying at Broad Street. That's what
Yeah. And because it was, because I wasn't moving the like towards a resolution. I was kind of just rehashing and asking the same questions or like complaining about the same thing, and it was like I wasn't helping move it towards an end goal.
Yeah, but it wasn't like
eventually we did. But
yeah, but it wasn't like that was your intention, was to like just like, you know, it was just for whatever reason we couldn't get on the same ground for a bit.
Yeah.
But again, it was like, you know, we
Monica
acknowledged it and we were just like, we need to try again tomorrow. And we did.
How do we both Solo Sinner, man. It's coming up with oh man, there's been a lot of honesty's huge. Secrets of the worst. Both of you have willingness to be honest. Brian, you're the best, dude. I talk about more feelings than I probably should. Yeah, Thea validates what you're saying. 1,000,000,000,000%.
Thank you.
What happens we got that one. How do we both practice mindfulness / meditation as a couple? We talked about it at Big Sur. So Megan, I remember in the beginning, you were like, wouldn't miss a morning. Megan's big on meditating in the morning.
I love meditating.
It's a little harder now because she doesn't wake up as early as she was, but we'll both come out here and sit on this couch and light some Palo Santo, and she'll put on like, sometimes it's a guided meditation with someone speaking, with like an intention for the day. Other times
Yeah.
it's just a pleasant sounds, or
Yeah.
But we'll do it together. She'll do it on her
Yeah,
own.
I mean, I was really good. Again, it's I think really challenging right now because my schedule isn't consistent. So it like I don't get home at the same time. I'm not waking up at the same time. And again, for somebody who's like a creature of habit, it's like it's definitely throwing me off my game. But I'm also trying to be more gentle with myself because, like I said, I think I am really hard on myself, and I just know how to like go, 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 go. Like, and if I'm not doing something, it's like have this loop where it's like the way I was brought up. It's like try harder, just do it harder, faster, better, stronger. And now that I'm like, I'm about to turn 40 in January, and like I just had some, I have like some neck and back issues. I'm trying to actually like be more gentle with myself and be like, okay, so you didn't work out today. Maybe you should meditate. Or okay, you missed meditating. Like at least just do something for yourself. Tell yourself you love, like I love myself.
She got her hair done yesterday, which is looks
done.
amazing. Don't know if you can see it from the angle, but
yeah.
from over here.
But I think meditation is really important, and also just physical exercise. And I notice a huge difference in myself when I'm not physically active. But I also notice a big difference when I'm not meditating, but I don't take it as seriously, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to gently remind myself, like,
it's all just as important.
It's all important. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And moving into the next decade, like, I really want to focus on balance in my life because like I said, I'm very like work hard, strive for excellence, and it's exhausting. And I think just like learning to, and I do love myself, and that's been a really big game changer for me. It's like doing meditations where like literally it sounds so silly, and it's really hard to start because when you start doing it, it feels so unnatural and uncomfortable, and you feel like a phony and a fake and a fraud. But literally, I read this book that was called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It.
Because it does.
Kamala
Harris?
No, not Kamala Harris. I don't even, because I'm a butcher. Kamal read something with an R. It's like an Indian. It changed my life, is all I'm going to say. And so when I'm really struggling, I'll go back to basics and just sit there in silence and just repeat, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself no matter what. I love myself, flaws and all. I love myself. And like I'll sometimes just like hold myself and just picture myself as like a 4-year-old little girl, or, I love myself. And then everything else kind of follows. I forgive myself, like I surrender. And then sometimes I'll do just like a mantra. Like I try to pick a word every year. And this year it was be present.
Yeah.
Again, it's a practice. But sometimes I'll do just like be present, be patient. Be present, like breathe in, breathe out, be present, be patient. A couple years ago, it was surrender. A couple years before that, it was courage. So yeah, I think meditation is really important, and we do it together, which is really nice.
It is nice.
And if you can't meditate, then
it's
just
it's
like
tough for
praying, honestly, like going to church. And
you can pray trying to not going to church. You can still pray at home.
Yeah, just or taking a walk and leaving your phone at home. Like I do that sometimes. Like I'll leave my phone inside, and it's just like I'm like breathing the fresh air and looking up at the palm trees.
Ink Rio wants to know, what do you guys have in common?
Art, music, etc.
Interestingly enough, we have very different likes and interests.
Definitely, so definitely different.
With me.
Definitely different.
On that question.
That's not true.
Have I lied to any of you yet?
You just were telling them that you were lying. You lie to me.
No,
when you make fun of me.
No, I'm singing a song, but you think that I'm making fun.
And
we went over that.
Okay. We have very different tastes in music.
She broke up with me. She's trying to glaze over that. And she basically said, what do we even have in common?
Okay. For context, because this
That was
guy
a
likes
hard day. Mexican food. We were out to lunch and she ruined my meal.
We were dating for
by
a
breaking up
couple
with me.
months, and we are so different. And I was very scared that a lot of things. He lived an hour and a half away. He has a son. He's in recovery.
She hadn't met my son.
I hadn't met his son at this point. Career-wise,
At the time I was painting my toenails.
I was struggling to find common ground for the long term, and it scared me. And yeah, I said, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't see that we have a lot in common. And yeah, and he went on a cross-country road trip, and he called me and he said, I'm not going to I don't remember how I'm not going to like ask for you to take me back or anything, but I need you to I'm confused because we said that we were going to be open and honest and we're going to have conversations and a dialogue, but this wasn't a dialogue. This was you made up your mind and you just made a decision. That's the decision. And when we started talking it through, I realized holy shit, this is a character flaw or defect, if you will, where I will self-sabotage, or I get this one thought in my head and then I let it take over my life and I make a snap decision. And then it's no, this is what we're doing. And it's very cut and dry, but he was right. I didn't console him. I didn't say hey.
Not that she had to be hey, is it okay if I break up with you? But I didn't even know that she felt that we didn't have things in common. So
yeah,
it was I just felt I think I remember. No, I remember telling you you're doing yourself a disservice giving up on this. These are the things you said you want. These are the things that I feel I bring to the table. What is this? Basically, but she was I need space. I said, I'll give you space. I just, give yourself a chance to be happy. What do you have to lose? You can break up with me later, but why right now? We haven't even gotten on the ride. We're still in line. Why?
Yeah, I think I would. And again, it's somebody made a comment earlier, and it's every decision you make is either out of love or out of fear. And at that moment, I was living in a place of fear. I don't know how this is going to work. He lives 2 hours away from me, an hour and a half on a good day. I don't know how it's going to work. Love yourself like your life. Kamal Ravikant. Yes.
Ravikant.
Amazing book. Love yourself like your life depends on it. Changed my life.
Jesse said that sounds so healthy, Megan. What, breaking up with me? That's not nice, Jesse. It was a terrible decision. So I'm just joking. Thea wants to know what's the best method that you found to let past traumas go?
Therapy. I mean, just talking about them.
Yes, the more you talk about, I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
My traumas were so traumatic. So the event was just something that happened. But for me, I created all this extra
story.
trauma around it by keeping it a secret. And that kind of gave power to what happened and gave power to the other person. So for me, talking about it as often and as openly and honest and descriptive as I could, the more I did that, the less power it had over me. Not that it fixed anything, not that it went away, not that I forgot about it, but it became less heavy. Not that I would just tell anybody hey, man, you want to hear about when I was sexually abused, but it was and that's another thing that that I should mention. The reason that I was so open with Megan in the beginning was because I felt, not only did I feel like it was the right thing to do to let her make an educated decision on who I was, but I feel like she felt like the right person to trust with my honesty. I don't think people should be
Yeah.
as radically honest as I am to everyone. Not everyone deserves to know all things about you. Like I don't tell everybody about everything. I have my select people that I confide in about certain things, but like not everybody has your best interests
Yeah.
in their heart. And so I would recommend to be very careful who you are like honest with. Because you're basically what I did basically was like, and I continue to do. I hand Megan all of the things that could destroy me, and just hope that she won't, and hope that she, and I hope that she uses that to help build me up. And so far, so good.
Yeah.
Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I just think, I will always just say it over and over again. I'm a huge proponent of therapy. And for me, it was like I had health insurance and it was at like my it was like $30 that I had to pay. And so it was literally like the cheapest thing in my life at that point. I'm like, I can't even get my nails done for that. You know what I mean? It's like gas, everything costs more than $30. And it was just, yeah, like making a commitment. And like all of my, all of my traumas, again, they're around, childhood, fear of abandonment. And one thing that, and again, I don't remember who said it or what book I read it in, or it's actually, maybe it was my therapist who said it, but she was like, you either repair or you repeat. And one of the healthiest things I did, one of the healthiest things therapy did for me was let me in on some of the things that I do in relationships. And so when, yes, I did break up with Jack after 2 months, it was a self-sabotage thing.
Shattered my whole reality.
It was a place of living in fear of, I don't know how this is going to work, right?
But I fought. I said,
He did.
No.
He
My
did.
tumbo. I said, no. Not so fast, little one. And luckily, she kept an open line of communication. It wasn't like, hey, this isn't working, fucking bounce, nerd. She was like, I could tell that she was questioning whether we fit or not, because we are very different.
I think that for me, it's like sometimes instead of going down a hard road, it's like, why don't I just end it now? I know that, I don't even know if that really, but it was like, I don't want to like just cut it off now. Because
so you don't waste 4 more years of your life on some dude.
Yeah. And like, I know that sounds terrible, but it was like, I do. And now I don't. Like, now I have perspective on that past relationship and I have actual gratitude for that relationship, as crazy as that might be, because I did learn some really important lessons. And I take accountability too for like my side of things. But I just like, I was so scared that like I didn't want to like waste it was like both of us. I didn't want to waste his time. I was scared to meet his son. I remember being very nervous to meet his son because
we didn't do that for a while.
I didn't want to meet his son unless I knew that like this was my person.
And I had never introduced my son to I didn't date anybody.
And if we're being really honest, like I knew that Jack was falling for me pretty hard and fast.
Damn.
And I don't think I was at the same point yet. And that scared me. And then I thought, what if I can't get there? And I panicked a little bit. And I think when I do that, I think my tendency was like, again, it's like that black and white, like, no, just be done with it. End it now. Make it like, don't make it messy. Just like cut it off now before anybody gets hurt. And it was very surgical, I feel like.
Yeah, just removed me like a wart. But I grew back.
But then, yeah, when he was like, he called me and he was like, I just don't understand. Like, you said that you wanted these things. I feel like I give you these things. And I was like, you do. And he was like, okay, so like, what am I missing? And I remember he also said, like, just because I haven't had like the life experiences you've had or whatever, it doesn't mean that like I don't want to do those things, like travel to Europe and I was just like, oh shit, like I totally just judged, like
pigeonholed me. Like East Coast loser.
Careful.
Sorry.
She's not wrong. I'm not saying she was wrong.
But it was like,
but I can change.
And in therapy, my
grow.
therapist was like saying the same. She was like, just talk to me about like why you made that decision so suddenly and like how do you feel now? And like the repair. Okay, sorry. That was a big tangent, but the repair, the repeat. Therapy helped me realize, like, shocker, like I am not my parents. This relationship is not my parents, right? And like anything that you don't repair from the past, you are bound to repeat. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to just continue living in a pattern. Like I wanted to break out of that. And I believed that like I was capable of doing that.
Ooh.
I just needed to meet this guy from Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outside of Boston, Waltham, Massachusetts.
Waltham.
I'm not claiming Boston. Anyone from Boston, don't get mad at me. Waltham, 12 miles west. Jules said something good.
Okay.
Do you think life is more about seeking happiness or avoiding suffering?
I think it's about
suffering's going to happen.
Seeking happiness. I mean, like finding the joy in life. Like I love life, and I think that I've been very lucky that I've loved almost every stage. But all we know is that we get one. We don't know. We can believe that there's life after your whatever, but we don't know. All we know is right now. And he's had experiences, I've had experiences where like life is short. And like we all feel it. Like whether you're like with your family or your friends, you're like, it's October? Yeah. Like what? And like seeing Jackson grow up and it's like he's 6. And like he just like we just saw him a week ago and he's taller and he looks older and it's just
I think he was still in diapers when we first started?
He was 3.
I think I posted I posted a post on Instagram the first time he pooped in a toilet, and I think I was dating you when I did. I don't know.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely still having some trouble, but yeah. That's just to say that life is short. So I think that you have to do what makes you happy, and you have to listen to yourself. And I think that it's confusing sometimes because you have like your gut, like your intuition, and then you have your critic. And sometimes the critic will take over your your truth. But like
your truth.
Yeah, Glennon Doyle.
I statements.
My truth.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're right. My truth. And I think that when I meditate and when I get centered and like really like grounded, I can hear and feel, really, I can feel what my truth is. And my truth is just to be a good person and to be a good partner daughter and sister and friend, and to do the best at work that I can be because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have value, and that all feels good, right? And I think a big change for me was my confidence. And you talked about this on it was a couple videos ago. Confidence. All of my confidence when I was younger came from external sources, whether it was like my parents or my teachers or a boyfriend. And it wasn't until a few years ago that through like loving myself and forgiving myself and really doing all of that work in therapy, that confidence now comes from within. And it's like, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I need to work on. But like, I just want to get to the end of my life. And I want to get to the end of my life and be like, God, please take me. Like, I'm so tired and I'm so ready, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. There's a hi Peter. Yeah, I know Sherborne. Come on, Thea. I know where Sherborne is. You take Route 9 out that way from Waltham, or Route 20, or Route 30. No, Route 20 goes to Marlboro and all that stuff. Route 30 or Route 9 goes out to Natick and Framingham. Yeah, I know where that is. Solo Center could
Yeah,
listen
you're
to
so
us
sweet.
all night. I wish we could do this all night. We had 30 people in here at one point. There's
That's
still
cool.
21 people. To me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I watched some stuff, and they got like thousands of people, and they're just doing nothing. Or like, it's crazy. It's crazy. They're like playing Fortnite or whatever kids do.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what the kids do.
Melanie, thank you. We give hope. We're giving hope. We're giving hope to the people.
Nice.
I think it's probably more you.
No.
I don't. The only thing I miss about Massachusetts right now is apple picking, man.
He's really into the apples right now.
God, I wish I could just go apple pick. I used to go apple picking multiple times a year out there, over to Honeypot Hill. You probably, if you're from out there, Honeypot Hill Orchards in Stowe, Massachusetts. Yeah, I just miss picking apples. Nothing like a fresh apple off a tree.
Yeah.
Are there any questions that you have for me?
I don't think
Or
so at the moment.
Any thoughts that have crossed your mind since you've been doing this?
No. I mean, I'm glad we did this. I am glad, Jack.
She didn't want to. She did not want to. But I convinced her. I thought it was
Again,
a
I
great
think
idea.
that I was a little sprung at the last moment.
That's what I do.
I know. He likes to, yeah. So actually, technically, the last time he surprised me, Solo Center, was just about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I said, hey, I'm going to get in the shower and I'm going to go live. And I think you should do it with me. She was like, I think that's stupid. And I said,
I didn't say that. I did not say that. See, lies.
Help a brother out.
He did say that. And I said, you know what, babe? That's what we do. We help each other.
I don't know if it went like that, but we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, it works out.
Should we wrap up, though, and let everybody get on with their Sundays?
I mean, I could eat another donut.
Oh, he bought donuts today.
So we watched.
You want to watch Better Call Saul?
I'm trying to think of what the heck did we? Oh, Chef's Table. Earlier we watched about this Cambodian woman who makes noodles, and
then we went and got pho, which is like my favorite.
We had to have some noodles, so we went to Blossom over in Santa Monica, had some pho, and on the way back, I wanted donuts.
And I said, well, if you're going to get donuts, we have to go to the best place, which is going to be a little bit of a drive.
Yes, we drove around for a while. I went to Randy's.
So that's also with me. It's like, it's like, we're going to do something.
Yeah,
I want the best.
If we're going to get a burger, it's got to be In-N-Out for her. If we're going to get, the only fast food chili is Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out once a month. In-N-Out you'd eat more often than
once a month?
Chick-fil-A? Yeah, we get it.
Once a month?
Maybe.
No way.
Less?
Yeah.
Oh,
I eat like pizza and pasta every day though, so
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
Apple cider donuts. Jesse Tillman knows what's up. What's the matter? You got to run? You got somewhere to be?
No.
They're very glad that.
Thank you.
You came on. Tom, I appreciate you. New Zealand, Melanie. I didn't know you were in New Zealand. That's
a bucket list.
I know. So. I don't know. When I fix my finances and we can travel again. Depending on where we go, it'd be so cool if we went to somewhere.
Yeah.
Where some of you are located. Again, I would love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to do even something. It'd be so cool to do a live at a place and have some people show up and do it with me.
Yeah.
Meet people in real life. IRL stream in real life, live meeting.
You need to
subscribers.
I would love for Jack to build his community in other platforms as well.
Yeah, I don't know how.
You have an Instagram. Do you guys know about his Instagram?
I don't know if they do. Well,
Recover with Jack.
I'm probably gonna rename that one.
Okay, when you rename this, when you name this, great. Can't wait.
It's in the it's in the gestation process. Is that what it's called?
Sure.
Incubation stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could go for another donut. I just really enjoy and
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Talking to you.
I like being here with my people.
Yeah. It's been amazing to see the community that you are building. And so I watch all of his videos and I read all of the well, not all of the comments, but I read a lot of the comments, and it's just so incredible to see how positive and like you're making a difference in people's lives, and like I think that's incredible, and you guys are making a difference in his life too, like huge. Like you are like uplifting him and encouraging him and motivating him, and some of you have like donated, which is like, it blew my mind. That's just so nice. And it just, and talk about
just
like
stranger. That's
yeah, but like talk about like, do we think there's like the pursuit of happiness or avoiding suffering? But it's like people are like, it's like, this is like cup. I'm 100% like glass half full. Like I choose to view humanity as like inherently good. Shitty things happen, and we do shitty things ourselves, but like we all, I think, are good, and I think we're all trying to just get back to that state of like tranquility and peace and harmony, and like maybe it's like woo woo and hippie, but like
hippies weren't wrong.
That's what I want to move towards.
Yeah, my whole goal is to I just want to help people realize their greatness.
I want you to also realize your greatness.
Yeah.
Jack, when our first New Year's together, I had this moment where we got like a little house in the desert out by Joshua Tree.
It was the best.
It was the best.
It's the best experience.
And I remember looking at him, and I just remember I was like, you're a king, and you don't know it. And I think it was this realization that we're both very strong, but in different ways. And like, I'm strong, but I'm also like, will attack, if that makes sense. It's like the scrappy side of me. Maybe it's because I'm so small. It's like, I'm just like,
your strength would be offense, mine would be defense.
Yeah. If I
like take a beating.
But he has that strength where it's like somebody can just, and I use that analogy where it's like they will like hit you and kick you, and he will still get up. It's like the fighter in the ring, like he will not stay down. And I remember just looking at him and being like, yeah, you're a king and you don't even know it. And it's a beautiful thing when somebody's like so unaware of like how amazing they are, but also it's like my wish and hope for you is to like really tap into that, because there's power there, and it's good power. Hope is so powerful.
Yeah.
And like,
that's what I want to bring.
That's what you do bring.
Yeah. I just want to do it more and do it effectively, and be concise with my words, and so that they land, Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
It'd be much easier if we were just in person, it would be much easier to it's much easier for me to give myself to people in person, because I have more, faculties to use instead of just this virtual thing. I remember, so I have a friend, Dylan, young kid. I call him a kid. He's got a few kids. He's probably in his late 20s. I went to treatment with him in Riverside, and he ended up relapsing, and he was living up north in like Modesto area or something like that. And I was in touch with him, and
at the time I was making good money at the car dealership, and I paid I paid for a flight for him to come back to um, back down from Modesto. I bought him a flight, and I got him into detox, and he didn't have insurance, so I paid for his detox medication. Me and Riley split it.
Yeah.
Riley got him into his program, and that was I think it's one of the best things I've ever done. Like he could be dead if I did. You know what I mean? Not that and I'm not trying to say that the financial aspect of it, like, oh, I bought him a plane ticket, but like I was able to do that, and he wasn't going to come down here on his own.
Yeah.
He had a very small window of opportunity where he was willing and he wanted help because he had these 2 babies on the way, and it was like, right now, yeah, I can do it. If I can do something for somebody, I'll do it. I would love to have more opportunities to give and share,
Yeah.
And I think it's possible.
It is possible.
Just gotta keep doing this, and somehow it's gonna turn into something else, and then eventually, we'll be having white parties in New York. That was a Puff Daddy reference for all of you that are into pop culture.
It's like I love you.
I would never have I'd have a white party.
It was just like we were having this like really like heartfelt connection, and then you just have to throw in Diddy. Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something that I do as well. She'll be very sweet, and I'll change it up on you because it keeps it exciting,
It keeps it real.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Let's catch up. Melanie thinks I really do make a difference.
Me too. Oh.
Peter, what was going on? If you want to, you don't have to, but I get having a tough week, man. But it's okay. Here we are. Jesse thinks that you're saying I need to have hope in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the
more
confidence.
Yeah. Hell yeah, she knows what I'm talking about.
I had the baby Jackson down.
I'll bring all we need. They need to see a realistic, hopeful, positive, safe place to come together. It seems so simple. It does seem simple to me in Rio, but I'm willing and I have an open mind, and I know how bad it can get. You know what I mean? Like eating out of trash cans.
Yeah.
And sleeping outside in December in Massachusetts is fucking cold and degrading, and you just learn some hard lessons doing that stuff, and so, and when I keep that in perspective, I'm grateful. It's easy to be grateful when I think about those things. But if I'm not careful, I'll get stuck in like, well, look at how good I'm doing. I'm not sleeping outside, and I'll like get content for a moment. And it's like, no, but
you
this
talked about
isn't
that
enough.
the other day.
Yeah, I think it's very important to not complacency, especially for people like me, for people in recovery. Complacency is a dangerous place, And I don't think I have nearly what I need, I'm just speaking on the subject. I know, and Megan and I talk about me doing better, and we talk about everything.
Well, I think too, like with the procrastination, like procrastination happens for everybody, but I think that sometimes when what you're trying to do is so big, or it seems so big, it feels like it's almost like it's impossible to climb that mountain or build that house, you know what I mean? But like instead, what helps me is to try to just like do one thing at a time, do one thing a day, take one step, try to be 1% better. And I do. I am a systems person. So like I always write out like my to-do lists and things like that. because if I see it, then I like, okay, I can check that off my list. But I think, if like I'll tell him like when he's feeling down some days, or I hate when he's feeling that way. And as a partner, for me, it's like I'm trying to work on finding some balance and boundaries as well, because I am a caretaker, my tendency is to want to do it for him, right? Like to like, oh, I'll help you, or I'll do this. And like, it's one thing helping somebody, but it's another thing doing it for them. And like, I'll tell him like, well, why don't you just try to do one thing today? Like, why don't you just look at your resume and like, I can review it and I can help you. But it's challenging because like I don't like it's challenging because sometimes I find myself being like, oh, I'll just do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, like he needs to do it. He needs to do it for himself.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Yeah. I know. And I shouldn't say I know. I'll do better.
You are doing amazing, babe. It's just it takes
do better.
No, it just takes time.
I know, but
I don't know where this cough came from. But it just takes time, It's like I don't have the COVID. I had COVID already. I had COVID in July. It was stupid.
What else, babe?
What else?
Yeah, ask me a real deep existential bombshell question.
What?
I don't know.
Pressure. I don't know.
I'm hungry.
I know you are. That's why I was asking if you wanted to wrap it up so we could eat something.
I need to eat some real food before I eat donuts.
Okay.
What?
I was going to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is what he does. He like.
What did I do?
You're like, won't eat. And then you're like, oh, I'm so hungry.
I want pizza.
What?
Yeah.
Well, from where?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, let's have this conversation when we're not in front of your lovely fans.
Okay, so speak now or forever hold your peace. Does anyone have any questions? Because I would love to answer them, but
I mean, it's almost 2 hours.
My brain only has so much going on in there, so, and it's been almost 2 hours. And luckily I had this one to help me out to keep it going.
We'll do it again.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, this is my thing. Oh, I'm going to interview. So I'm going to interview this young kid. His name's Lucas. He's 22. I brought him. So I spoke at a double speaker meeting yesterday. So I had to bring someone with me to speak with me. And I brought this kid, Lucas, who you guys know Dustin because I've interviewed Dustin, my good friend. Dustin runs a treatment center. And Lucas is one of the workers that lives at the house. Great kid. Great story. Got clean when he was 20. It was crazy. It was also crazy bringing somebody to speak with me. And when they said, who wants to go first? And I said, age before beauty. He's half my age. He's 22 and I'm 40. So it was just, but we have the same story. I know, but we have the same story. Same struggles early on. It was just, so I'm going to interview him. I told him to put it on his calendar a week from Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to interview him, and I think you guys will love him. He's cool. He wakes up at 3:45 in the morning and goes for a run and works out and writes a gratitude list, and he is about it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he not only writes the gratitude list, he texts it to us every morning. So it's amazing. But I think, and he's trying to do something like this, but like as a motivational thing. He does 10-minute videos. But he just started, and I was like, dude, yeah, I'll bring you on mine and we can talk about it. Because he deserves, to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to interview more people. I love interviewing people. I wish I could interview you guys.
You can.
How?
You figure it out. You ask somebody, and then you guys make a date.
Okay. They're saying we should end on a high note.
Thank you so much, guys.
And girls. You guys have been, y'all.
Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Yeah. I appreciate everyone that came here. I don't know if anybody has been here this whole time, but it's been a while. It's been almost 2 hours. Sorry for the technical difficulties at first. But I feel like this was a good, honest, hopefully you guys learned a little more about me and Megan and how we do things and how amazing she is. And I'm just trying to keep up. Oh, excuse me. But Daddy's hungry. And I don't say that in a creepy way. No. I say it like I have a son. So like sometimes when I'm around here, I'm like, Daddy's got to poop. And
all right. Thank you so much.
You know how to, you can do it.
You want me to stop?
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all of the support. You're the best. I love you. Megan's behind the camera. They can still hear you. You have your mic on.
Okay, bye guys. Have a good night.
I'll see you next video coming out Tuesday. I love y'all.